Welcome back to the Seattle Seahawks review. The Seahawks win against the 49ers 29-13. A bunch of good things happened for the Seahawks, but there were some bads as well. Some things to be a little bit concerned about considering the team that we did indeed face. Let's start out with the good. Seahawks, great on offense all day long. Had about 2 or 3 drives that didn't end in a scoring play. But other than that, they were lights out and did a tremendous job. One other thing that was kind of a bad thing about the offense was Stephen Hauschka. He missed 2-point after attempts. One was blocked and one was just wide right. And that was definitely kind of concerning, but I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal because Hauschka is still money. So the Seahawks win 29-13. The offensive MVP has to go to Thomas Rawls. 209 yards. He had 250 plus combined yards. Tremendous job by Thomas Rawls. He ran for 209, had a rushing touchdown and a receiving touchdown. You know, the first catch I think he had was a kind of a weird throw by Russell Wilson, and he caught it and ran it for about 15 yards. It was a great catch. I was very, very surprised with how great this guy has played. He's been absolutely tremendous so far in the games that he has had his opportunities. And that Bengals game, I believe he ran for 169 yards, and today he ran for 209. And I mean, obviously it's the Niners. They aren't the greatest on defense, but they did stop those Atlanta Falcons for a good amount of the game. I mean, they ended up winning that football game against the Falcons, and their defense is obviously a good defense still, even though they haven't been great this season, don't have a winning record or anything like that. They still are a decent team and an NFL team. It's that simple. When we look at the offense, though, Wilson, 260 pass yards, 24 of 29, 138.5 passer rating. He played absolutely tremendous today. He definitely silenced the haters. You know, I was kind of upset with how he played recently. I was very disappointed, actually. I mean, I could have picked several quarterbacks I would rather had in the last week. Today is the Wilson that I have seen the previous 3 seasons. That was a great game for him today. He threw for 3 touchdowns. I mean, that's something he hasn't done, I don't think, at all this season. I think the highest was 2, if even that. I mean, he had 10 touchdowns, 7 interceptions coming into the game with 21-18 yards throwing. Obviously, the yards are pretty good, but we just could not finish off drives. And today we did. We had 2 threats back there. We had 3 threats, you know. It was a great game overall for the Seahawks on offense. When we look at defense for the Seattle Seahawks, well, we'll continue with the offense a little bit more here and look at another couple more stats. Doug Baldwin had six catches for 60 yards. And Tyler Lockett, tremendous day for him. 4 receptions for 48 yards with 2 receiving touchdowns, which were tremendous, especially the second one where he got off a defender and was able to get into the end zone, or maybe a few defenders if I can recall. It was a great job by the Seahawks on offense. They played their hearts out and they played really well. I'm hoping to see this in the near future and to continue to do this in coming games because they are going to need it for the Steelers next week if indeed they face Ben Roethlisberger. And that's where we lead into the defense. The defense played decent. It wasn't the greatest of performances from the defense. There are some big plays given up. Chris Richard, and that is how you say his last name, it's not Richard. Richard, he seems to play passive on defense in his calling plays that are just too passive. Once again, tight ends burned us. One of their tight ends ended up scoring a receiving touchdown. I'm not sure who it was. I can't think of it at the top of my head, but right at the end of the second half, we played very conservative defense. There was just wide open lanes everywhere you would look. It was easy for Blaine Gabbert, any quarterback for that matter, to make those throws that were just completely wide open. There was broken down coverage. It seems like we can't defend the tight end at all. I think they put up a stat today with about 50 catches and 600 plus yards against the Seahawks defense when it comes to tight ends. So our kryptonite is the tight end, and we have to fix that. We have to do a little bit better of man coverage or get more, I don't know, just the linebackers have got to be more aware around the field. It seems like there's a lot of open areas that the Seahawks defense breaks in, and sometimes it doesn't seem like the players know what they're doing on defense. If they don't know where they're going, they don't know who they're defending. So they have to fix that. It's obviously fixable, but at the same time, Richard has got to play better defense-wise calling. But Kerry Williams is the guy I have to point out. He has been burned all season long. We are spending 3 years on him for $18 million, and I can definitely see why the Philadelphia Eagles let him go. He is not that great of a cornerback. He is obviously not the cornerback that deserves $6 million a year. That's at least one solid lineman that we could trade him for. Essentially, not trade him, but obviously we released him. I'm not sure what the penalty would be on that. I don't really know. Obviously, I'm not saying we should release him, but he's got to step his game up. He's not playing by any means up to his contract. He does not deserve anywhere near that with how he's played this season. He had one good game, and then that was the game against the Detroit Lions, and that's it. Nothing else has been really that great from Kerry Williams. He's got to step it up. Both corners, both sides of the field. It's been tough this year on defense. Today was a better game. We had a couple plays that were big and huge gains, but overall, it was a decent game. But we did end up giving 264 yards passing to Blaine Gabbert with 1 touchdown and 98.2 quarterback rating. He was 27 of 34 on the day. So overall, the Seahawks played well. The Niners, on the other hand, had some struggles on offense. Obviously, early, they had 2 quick 3-and-outs. After that, I don't think they had another 3-out. They might have had a couple more. But the Seahawks just played a great game overall. I'm really excited for the future. This season is still young. We're 5-5, and we have 6 more games to go. And 6 of those last games, I believe 3 of those last 6 games are at home, and that's definitely going to help us. We obviously have the Vikings right after the Steelers, then the Ravens, and I believe we have the Browns and the Rams, and then the Cardinals on the road. So we have 2 games at home against teams that we should beat. Obviously, the Rams beat us earlier in the year, but we should be able to beat them. The Rams, for some reason, and they're the weirdest team in the NFL. They just seem to beat the Arizona Cardinals and the Seahawks, but they can't beat the Ravens or even the Redskins. It's the weirdest thing ever that the Rams can't do that, as they are 4-6 now, and the Seahawks definitely got a break there with them losing today. Along with the Falcons, they lost today as well, and the Seahawks control their destiny. They win out, they have a really good chance of making the playoffs. I don't think they will get a bye week, considering the fact that the Panthers won once more, and I believe if they win another game, we're already eliminated from that home field advantage. So wild card is probably where we're looking. Unless we get very lucky and the Cardinals can lose tonight. Obviously, this is pre-recorded before the end of the Bengals and Cardinals game. I'm not sure what the score is of that game currently, but it's 6-08. So whatever the score is now, who knows? If the Cardinals can lose tonight and lose another game and then lose against us, if we can beat them on the road, the Seahawks will be able to take the division if we win out. So that's definitely something that is very interesting to look into, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. It was a great game overall. I'm hoping to see this next week against the Steelers. It's going to be a tough team to beat, and if Ben Roethlisberger is in that stadium or playing, it's going to be a tough game for him. I can't imagine. I'm hoping. Obviously, it's been 10 years since the Super Bowl 40, the worst officiated game in NFL history. But overall, I just think that that's going to be a crazy game. There's going to be booing going on all over the field. I think that's the first time we faced the Steelers at home since that game, if I'm not mistaken. I think we played them once in their stadium, and that was it. So I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, please leave me a like, a comment, and possibly subscribe. I want to know your thoughts on the Seahawks review, if it's entertaining to you. If it's not, please let it be known. I won't do it. I want to entertain you guys and give you guys the best viewership possible into what you guys find interesting, because this is obviously fun for me to do, and I probably still will do it because I do enjoy it. But if you guys don't enjoy it, please let that be known. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like, a comment, possibly subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.